This video is about Boolean logic. So previously we've seen Boolean operators, but what we can do is we can use this thing, Boolean logic, and it allows us to check two things at the one time. So sometimes we want two values to be true for something to happen. An example of which is a username and password. So we want the username to be true and we want the password to be true for something to happen. If it's not, then we don't want the whole statement to become true. So this is known as Boolean logic, and we can use certain Boolean operators to make this happen. So an example here is an AND operator. So it checks to make sure both conditions are true. So 1 equals 1, that's true. 2 equals 2, that's true. So it checks to see that both of these are true on either side. If both are not true, or if both are true rather, then the result is true. So AND checks to make sure that both of them are true. If one of them's not, the result would be false, because both of these conditions have to be true. So the first one and the second one have to both be true. In comparison, we've got OR. OR checks to see whether one or the other condition is true. It doesn't really care. If more than one condition is true, then fine, but as long as one is true, that's all that really matters. So the example here, we've got 1 equals 1, so it checks to see if 1 is equal to 1. Well, that's true. Then it's got OR 2 equals 3. So the result of that whole thing is true, because it only needs one of the conditions to be right. So it doesn't matter that the other one is wrong, it just needs the one. And then we have got the NOT operator. So all NOT does is it makes the result the opposite of what it should be. So if the result is true, NOT will make it become false. So we've got 1 equals 1. Well, 1 does equal 1, so that's true. But because it has NOT in front of it, the result is false. So basically, AND will check for both things to be true, or will check for one of them to be true, and NOT changes the result from one thing to the opposite. So we'll have a look at an example, really, to see how we got on with this one. So I'm going to have a look to see whether or not things are true or false. So A is equal to 1, B 4, C 6, D 1, E 10. So we've got an OR in here. So OR only cares if one of them is true. So the minute we get one true, then we know what the result will be. So A is less than C. So 1 is less than 6. That's true. Or A is equal to D. 1 is equal to 1. So that's fine. It's true. So it's true on both sides. It doesn't have to be because it's an OR statement, but it's true on both sides, so the result here would be true. And then we have AND. So with AND it does matter. Both of these have to be true to get a result coming out that's true. So E is greater than C. E is 10 and it's greater than 6. Yes, that's true. And C is greater than B. 6 is greater than 4. So they're both true. And because it's an AND statement, they both have to be true. So that's fine, the result is true. And then we have got inside the brackets, A is equal to D. A is 1 and D is 1. So A equal to D is true. But because it has the not in front of it, we invert it, so the answer is false. And the last one here, B is less than E. Well, B is 4 and E is 10, so B is less than E. And C is not equal to E, so 6 is not equal to 10, so that's true as well. So both of them are true, and it's an AND statement, so they both have to be true. So the final result is true. So all we're doing is we're taking our comparison operators that you've seen before, and instead of just having one of them, we're having two. And it can be useful for things like usernames and passwords, because you would want to check that both of them are correct at the same time. What we'll do is look at some examples. So this is a program with an AND statement. Okay, so again I start with the comments, the name, the date and what it's about. So I've got a variable here, user, and I'm using the keyword input. Input will read in whatever the person types in. So I've got enter username, so whatever they type in, it's stored inside user. And then I've got pwd, so I've got the keyword input, so whatever the person types in is stored automatically inside pwd. So you get a username and you get a password. So we have the if statement. So we're checking for two things, and the two things have to be correct. So we have the AND statement in the middle. So I'm saying if the user is equal to lowercase Violet, if that's true, and if the password is equal to password lowercase, so if both of them are true, we write out welcome to the site. And then I've got user, so it'll just write out the person's name. Else, if both of them are not true, we write out incorrect user and or password. So to see it running, what we've got is enter username. I've just put VV in. Enter password. Again, I've just VV. And it comes down. And the first thing it does goes to the if. Checks to see if VV is equal to Violet. It's not, it's false. Checks to see if VV equals password. Nope, it's false. So it will not do the true part of the statement, which is the first one. It does the else. And it'll write out incorrect username or password, which is what's happened. And then an example of it working. Enter username, put in Violet, and password is password. So come down to the if. If user is equal to Violet, well, that's true because I did put Violet in. So Violet equals Violet, that's true. And password equals password because I typed in password. That's true, so both true. So it will print out welcome to the site. So here we have it here, enter username, put Violet in, enter password, I put password in, and then I have welcome to the site Violet, and that's because it has matched both of them and it goes down to the first option. Okay, I've got an example here of an OR in a program as well. So with this one, it just needs to match either the first name or the last name. And if it matches one of them, then the person gets entry into the system. So again, it's very similar to the previous one. The only thing I have really changed is the if statement. So I've got first name equals, and I've got the keyword input, so it's going to take whatever the person has typed and store it inside this variable called first name. And then it has enter last name, so I've got the keyword input, which will take whatever the person's typed and it will store it inside the variable last name. And then we have if. If the first name is equal to Violet, or the last name is equal to McLean, we're printing out welcome to the site, and then we're printing out the first name, a space, and then the last name. So the example here is enter first name, I put Violet, and then enter last name, I've got McLean, and then it will write out welcome to the site, Violet McLean. The other one there is an example of it not working. So enter first name, I've typed hello. Enter last name, I've said it's me. And it doesn't match either Violet or McLean, so it just writes out incorrect user details. Okay, what I would suggest you do is have a look at these two examples. Make sure you understand what's going on. Give them a try. Have a look once you've done that at the tasks on Canvas. If you've got any questions, just ask. Okay.